Garden Story, developed by Picogram, is an incredibly chill game from start to finish. It's an action RPG where you play as Concord, a little grape, as they set out to discover the reason behind the rot and the destruction of their island. What follows is an adventure around an incredibly beautiful island with a colorful cast of characters and a surprisingly emotional story about conservation, community, and belonging. While Garden Story does a lot of things right, it does have a few rough patches, but overall is a great game to chill out with.
The aesthetic of Garden Story is beyond adorable, guys. They've opted to go with a very pastel palette that leaves the player feeling cheerful as they play through. One of my favorite design concepts was the layout of each area and the attention to detail. For example, each of the houses are actually made to look like little jam jars. I mean, I guess that's kind of morbidly cute, but let's carry on. We can't forget the sound design of the game either. The music for each space was fantastic. There was a theme for each area that fit the same upbeat, happy tone you started off with at the beginning of the game. Even though you have to fight enemies, there's never any real urgency because the music is just so chill. I'd find myself out at night, and even though you're warned over and over that the enemies are much stronger, I'd just be strolling around on my rounds swiping at them. It may be odd, but I never felt I was in a lot of danger while playing the game. The enemies were all kinds of cute. That's saying a lot since they kind of looked like the Living Dead versions of the others. Don't let your guard down though, because though they are adorably ghoulish, these enemies that you face have a wide range of attacks and can pack a pretty powerful punch. If you're not careful, you might end up getting Concord really hurt. I found myself stopping by each new shop when I entered a new town to peruse the wearable items. You can actually go through and pick out things that you think would look cute on Concord. It seems I really can't help but play dress up when the chance is given to me. Plus, how could you not take advantage of giving Concord some cool gear to wear? He really does work very hard. Oh, and not to forget, not only can you buy things at the store, you're able to sell your extra items, and you collect a lot of items. So this was a plus to me because I always like making money. It actually made me want to go out and collect more stuff because I just, maybe I'm greedy, I don't know.
Garden Story core loop is usually satisfying, if not a bit repetitive. You'll wake up, the day's clock will start, and you're off to help whatever community you're currently situated in. You'll be given a few tasks that you need to accomplish by day's end, with tasks like killing rot or collecting a certain amount of resources. Complete these tasks and you'll raise your overall standing of the community, unlocking more difficult tasks and new items. These don't usually take very long, and there were times when I had completed everything I needed to do for the day and was left with not much else to do. You can run around and continue to collect resources to upgrade your gear or build up your areas, but if you don't want to, you're left just kind of killing time until the end of the day, when you can actually go to sleep. I wish the game let you sleep whenever you wanted, or at least give you some way to advance time faster. You'll be able to build things like lamps, resource boxes, or other decorative items in certain areas. I never really made much use of the building system, but it's there for people who want to have an easier location to access their items or make the areas look even nicer.
I will say that the story was very well done. I love the sense of community that you felt when entering the game and the encouragement from others. Concord was such a little grape starting out, and even though some may have doubts, they didn't really discourage you as a player, especially Plum. He's basically your mentor and one of the first beings you create a memory with. Memories are important to the game. You collect them as you discover new things and meet others. Each memory has a specific boost. Some of them will give you health, some of them will give you extra defense, among other things. You collect these memories in the form of photographs that you can then place in your album. Each morning before you go out, or right before you go to sleep, you can switch out your memories depending on what boost you want for that day. It's such a cute idea, and I was always excited to see what my new memories would be and what my bonus stats would be, because who doesn't love good bonus stats? I know I do.
Garden Story's combat is solid and doesn't do anything too different from its contemporaries. You'll use an array of different weapons, including a sword-like pick, a fishing rod, and others that you'll collect to fight off the rot. You'll need to manage stamina as well, as you can get into some sticky situations if you don't. Where Garden Story fumbles is its dungeons. Each town has one, when you'll move through floors, solving puzzles, fighting enemies, and eventually taking on a boss. The boss design is fine, but the dungeons are overall more annoying than fun, especially when the game will ask you to run these multiple times at points. They're static, and you'll be solving the same puzzles over and over again if your town requests require you to collect something from them. It can get frustrating.
The narrative design fits the game so well. I found myself liking all the characters you come across. In each town, I'd go around talking to as many NPCs as I could in order to see what they would say to Concord. I think it's important to have good narrative not only for the main story, but for your NPCs. It makes the world seem less lonely, and while playing the game, it was something I really enjoyed.
Garden Story's narrative is one that surprised me. Its messages of believing in one another, relying on those around you, and supporting each other, even through your mistakes, is an important one. The sense of community in this game is ever present as you try and fix the broken bonds between the different towns. It works really well and has an incredibly satisfying ending, while giving you enough to do in the post-game to keep going.
If you haven't tried out Garden Story, you definitely should. This is a great game for casual players or people just starting out. It's not overly intense and has a decent learning curve. So yeah, definitely give Garden Story a try. I think you'll really enjoy yourself.
Thanks for watching our Garden Story review, and thank you to the team at Strive PR for providing us with codes for review. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing and watching more of our videos below. Thanks for watching.